We live, Chase?
We are live, a little late.
Oh, hell.
You know how we do.
Well, better late than never. In fact,
Yeah.
we're kind of like a week late this time.
Yeah. Goodness gracious. I'm gonna have to go set up the Facebook stuff over there. It's a whole
Uh-oh.
new thing.
Uh-oh. We still live?
Yeah,
Perfect. Well, this will give everyone a chance to get in here. This podcast brought to you by Salt and Pepper. No dinner's complete without it.
And water, brought to you by water. I wouldn't be alive without that either.
Yeah, we're
So.
healthy boys, this podcast. We're not even getting drunk, Chase. What happened to us?
What's that Hank song? All my friends have settled down.
All righty, friends.
Yeah, that one. I can't sing it for you, but I can quote it. No. This is it's a different day. It kind of feels a little weird because we didn't have a podcast last week.
Yeah.
And because of the snowstorm, and there was the roads were bad, really bad.
Yeah.
My car was completely frozen to the ground, so I was like, I'm not doing anything. I'm not going out anywhere, and I can't blame.
I don't think you've gone out anywhere since. Your car is still frozen to the ground.
I walk from time to time. It's not, you're right, but
I was pulling into your neighborhood, and your neighborhood looks like mine. Hasn't been touched by a plow or anything. I was
Nope.
like, I bet he regrets getting rid of that ridge line.
yeah, I was just thinking about it. Just the other day when it started snowing, I was like, man, I miss having that Honda Ridgeline. It's a good truck because you could just drive like an asshole in it and not flip it, not easily.
Yeah.
But you could definitely flip it. You can definitely flip a Ridgeline. It can be done. Yeah, I do miss it, but also I kind of like having a Camry to get everywhere. The most practical vehicle to have, as a dude in his 20s.
Yeah.
I mean, it can't be cool. Can't be cool and have the 4-wheel drive anymore.
It's astonishing how long, like when we skip a week, it feels like it's a month. Like that's the first thing I said when I walked in here because I was like, dude, it feels like it's been a month since we had a podcast.
Yeah, it'd be different if we did the podcast on the weekends. Whenever there's stuff going on the weekends during the week. Wednesday's like the calmest day.
Yeah.
And then like the rest of the week is either uphill or downhill from there. But yeah, it always does feel like it's been like well over a month. But it's been kind of nice the past couple of days because the snow feels like it's made everybody kind of slow down.
Not me. Pisses me off.
Oh yeah, you gotta
I'm
like
fucking cold, bro.
Do you okay? So when it's this cold, do you guys require people to come to the shop? Like how?
So our cutoff is 15 degrees. Our products work down to 0 degrees, but they give us a little buffer in there. In reality, 15 is about it.
Yeah, 'cause
the glue starts setting very quickly.
Yeah.
So yeah, once it's below 15, we can't service them outside. It has to be in a heated environment. But
That makes sense.
only the past couple of days have been below 15. So we've just the main issue is that whether it's snowing or raining, it's doing the same thing. If you have a piece of glass out, because as soon as the snow lands, it turns to water.
Yeah, and I would think glass getting very very cold like that. Like if you're had a job that just took particularly longer than normal, like the glass getting that cold doesn't cause it to contract at least a little bit, or is it tempered in a way that it doesn't?
I don't know. I mean, I've never broken a piece.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like, oh, my glass stress cracked. I've never seen that happen. Usually, you get hit by a rock or something, you just don't notice. But
Yeah.
or a rock chip you got forever ago cracks out and you didn't notice it.
Yeah.
Usually, it's that. But no, I don't know. Probably boring the fuck out of people with my work. But I've had a lot of shit happen these past couple weeks.
Really?
Yeah. So I told you before our last podcast, but we weren't live yet.
Mm-hmm.
We were looking at buying a house.
You're all right.
We made an offer on that house. They accepted the offer. And now we should be closing by the end of the month.
Ooh,
So that's going to be cool.
Right.
Yeah, it's over.
Don't say
It's over the Blue Bridge.
Okay.
Over in Indiana.
Oh,
So,
interesting.
Yeah, I'll be
Interesting.
an Indiana resident, which is I was almost morally opposed to at first. It was a weird feeling because I work in Indiana and I drive back and forth every single day. So you wouldn't think it would be like this crazy concept, but just the idea of not living in Kentucky anymore was weird to me.
You lived here your whole life, right?
Yeah. I mean, I lived in Owensboro, yeah.
So, all right, can you not go to Whitaker's and buy a gun now if you were to move to Indiana?
Oh, shit.
That was the one thing I was
I'll
thinking
have to
about.
have you buy it for me and sign it over to me.
Sign it over to you. Strawberries. No, I was wondering about that because I looked at a few really cheap houses right across the bridge, and there was a few nice that had been built not too long ago, but for whatever reason they couldn't keep people in them. And the being across the bridge and moving from here to from Kentucky to Indiana, I thought it's really not that big of a difference. But I was thinking it wasn't like the house wasn't nice enough to make me want to move to a different
Yeah.
state, even though it is just like 15 minutes that way.
Right.
You know, but there were some nice houses over there, like outside of Rockport and Rio and stuff like that. So
Dude, this
I can
one-
blame you, especially if you want cheap land.
Yeah, that's
Cheap.
the thing,
Yeah,
man. Like
no.
me in Brooklyn, we were really looking for a house that I was okay. See, here's the thing. I was okay with having like a fixer-upper house because I have, you know, that skill set relatively,
Right.
with a lot of land. Because I didn't want to go over like 150,000. I was like, that's my cutoff.
You can get a nice house. for
I've
that,
done
right?
160,000. I hated the mortgage payment every fucking month. So
Right,
like,
right.
this is where I want to be. So I was like, for that budget, we're, you know, in Davis County especially, prices are through the fucking roof, man. Like, it's insane.
Yep.
So, you know, I go on Zillow and these other sites and filter it by, you know, minimum of 3-bedroom, 1 acre of land minimum, like, and just be nothing for 150 grand. And I'm like, okay, well,
Yeah.
you know, I
Nothing
zoom
nice.
out, zoom out, and, you know, maybe there'd be something that pops up in Whitesville
Yeah.
or Fordsville or, you
There's a
know,
reason,
Horse
though.
Branch or Beaver Dam. I'm like, God damn, well, now I work in Evansville, so I'm driving 30 minutes further. Like, that's
Yeah,
going to suck.
nah.
I don't want to live out that far. So then this property popped up that we ended up hopefully closing on the end of this month, but and they had it listed for 157, and it has an acre of land, 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 1,400 square feet. It looks like almost looks like the layout of like a Jago house, but it's not. It was built in 2002.
Is it a slab house or is it?
It's on a crawl space, but
You can work with
metal roof. Yeah, it's a good house, and it was on an acre, and we go out to look at it, and the thing that sold us is like all the properties around Davis County that we looked at, you're in a field. Like if you have land,
Yeah.
you're in a field.
Yeah.
Like you're surrounded by field. You know,
Yeah.
even your place, there's a fucking
Yeah.
field right behind you.
Yeah. Oh.
So Brooklyn hated that idea. And so we went to look at this house, and there's like estates all around us.
Yeah.
There's like estates.
Yeah.
And then there's like our house.
And you're like, we're the poor people on the block.
Exactly.
yeah, I got you.
But it's like down a county road. And like it's a mile off the main highway, but you feel like you're in the middle of nowhere
Yeah.
because
You don't have to go far.
First of all, it's Rockport.
Indiana. Yeah.
It's a Rockport address, but it's 5 minutes across the Blue Bridge, so you're not even to Rio, much less Rockport.
Oh,
But,
okay.
yeah, it's
Interesting.
Spencer County.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, and went to look at it, and this house, it's on an acre, and behind it is nothing but just like open field and woods. But it's not plantable field. It's just like brush and shit. And I was
Yeah.
like, you know, so that's cool. So I'm gonna put
Yeah.
like my deer feeder back there.
Yeah.
And we can just see deer in the morning.
Yeah.
So that'd be, or other wildlife, whatever
Yeah.
shows up.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that more than I do the suburbia. Some people like that fancy $160,000 house that was just built in 90 days for you. That's 5 feet away from the
You
other
know, I did that the
160,000.
first round, but
And it has its advantages. You got the fast internet, you got the new neighbors, you got everything's
Yeah.
new. You don't have to worry about things for a few years. If they are, most of that shit comes under warranty from Jago or whoever you have your shit built through, especially if you get appliances with it. But I can hardly do as is. Like that field is the only reason I've stayed here because like the idea of living super close to people just makes me think of it like an apartment complex. And although like I've lived in several apartment complexes, I just hate being that close to somebody else. You know me, I'm introverted. I don't want people bother me. I don't want to bother other people. But it's so tough here in town to find something that's that balanced. So I can't blame you for going there. But if something popped up over there and it's cheaper, it's like, why not? If it's just like, I just got to cross an imaginary line,
yeah.
you know, and especially if it makes your commute a little bit shorter and her commute's not going to be too bad anyways.
No, like,
because
that's what I told her. I was like, fuck, I drive to Evansville to start my day.
Yeah.
And then I usually drive 4 to 6 hours
Yeah.
on top of that, and then the drive home.
Yeah.
So I don't give a shit about my commute necessarily as much as hers.
Yeah.
So, you know, and right now she drives like 10 minutes to work, and now it's
Yeah.
going to be 13 minutes. So I think should be all right. Yeah.
That'd be fine. Yeah. It'd be fine. That's pretty cool though. I hopefully they get to close on it, especially if it's the house you actually do want, because that process can be a nightmare.
Oh, dude, it always is. I told Brooklyn to buckle up and get ready for it because we just went through underwriting, so they got 8 million forms, files, returns. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, just keep handling shit.
Yeah. So we just went through that, but now it's on to some more shit, and then we'll be able to close. So hopefully that'll go quick. But it's got everything we want. It's in the price range we wanted. Can't
Sounds like a good home, and with it being out there, is like you can pretty much do whatever you want to that little acre of land.
Bro, here's the thing, right? So Spencer County.
Yeah.
Okay. Spencer County and all the counties around it, pretty much, almost all of Evans or almost all of Indiana actually. You're allowed to ride side by sides on the road. On any county road.
I see why you moved.
On any county road, you can ride side by sides with a little $20.
You didn't move over there for the house.
$20 registration permit. You get to ride them on the road. So
that's pretty cool.
I'm stoked. I can take my damn side by side.
Yeah. Visit all the neighbors. Howdy, I'm the new guy in town with my turbo over here.
What?
So if there's any ruts in any of their fields, they'll know exactly where to go.
I don't know what you're talking about, Chase. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I bet that's pretty cool, man. I didn't know that about that area down there specifically, but most of the time, like if it's a county road like that, you can drive around them, and it's not like driving on an interstate where it's like 65 and you got some dude with fucking mud in tires going 35, people blowing his fucking doors off. But people are crazy. They'll do whatever they think they can get away with.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'll be fun, dude. I'm interested to see.
We gotta take the fucking driver's test.
Oh, really? There's a driver. Is there like an actual driving test, or is it just a test?
Not for the side by side stuff. Just like to be an Indiana resident.
What?
To get our driver's license.
Oh, you gotta like redo that?
Yeah.
Oh,
so you don't have to do the physical like driving part with a teacher or whatever, but you gotta take the written test.
Written test.
Yeah.
I never knew that. I thought that once you did that once, you're good
to get my
go.
concealed carry again.
I was about to ask about that. And they respect the.
They reciprocate.
Yeah, so it's not really that big of a.
But all my shit's so fucked up as far as like all my paperwork and stuff, man. Like my license still says 5511 Goldenrod, fucking where I lived 2 years ago at this point.
Yeah, I don't even know what.
If I get pulled over, bro, I'm fucked. Like,
well, I just had to get the real ID not too long ago, and I had to make sure all my stuff was updated on there, and they got it to me, and it's pretty cool. It'd be nice to actually use it for something like that. A real ID entails like maybe a domestic flight, but I'm not big on flights. I ruptured my eardrum when I was younger, and so like high altitudes really fuck with my head. So more of a train kind of guy since then.
You ever thought about bringing like tampons or something with you?
Midol. They say Midol will take care of the headaches. Help. Yeah, yeah. I honestly haven't been on a plane in a long, long time. I've been on a helicopter, but I haven't been on a plane in a while. That's like at really high altitude, not like some sort of like ride type deal, some sort of show. But maybe I need to try it out and see how it goes. But it would suck to get on like a 4 or 5 hour flight, and the whole way there my head is just spinning. Like I've got a big pressure bubble in my head.
Hop a flight to St. Louis. It's like a 30-minute flight or something.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, and it's like
probably won't get up to like altitude, but
yeah, they do. I forget that we have like the budget flights from our airfield. You get, and sometimes they have the you can fly down to Florida pretty cheaply too.
Orlando,
Orlando down there. It's just whatever Allegiant or whatever the one is.
$59 round trip.
What were those Vegas trips like? $90 or something like that? $70.
Do they go to Vegas?
They go to Vegas, baby.
Really?
Not all the time, but they have been known to go to Vegas because I had a group of friends that was really, really trying to push for a Vegas trip, and they had all the stuff budgeted out, but the friend group fell apart, so it just never materialized. But that was when they had. I think they were like $100 there and back round trip to Vegas from there, but you had to go on specific dates,
of course,
and come back on specific dates. So if you didn't have money to stay for a week in Vegas, you better get good at gambling.
That's probably somebody trying to call in, but
if
you're trying to call in,
we are not checking the comments. I totally
also don't call in from a private number because I won't answer.
Oh shit! I don't even have Facebook on this phone. I don't know what I'm looking at.
We gotta pull up the stream. Get to these.
Here, just pull it up on your phone.
Not even comments, but
if there is, we'd hate to ignore anybody, but they I don't have Facebook on my phone just because.
No, there's no comments yet.
Okay, fine, that's cool. I don't want to talk to y'all anyway.
Yeah, fuck
y'all. But yeah, I delete Facebook off my phone.
That probably sounded great.
Too much time on scrolling through Facebook and like not even seeing any of the things I wanted to see. Mm-hmm. You know, like I get it, they got an algorithm that works through all that shit, but I would always end up seeing things that were obviously fed to me by the algorithm that I didn't care about, and your mind will just let you scroll. It'll just let you scroll until the end of that day.
Again, don't call from a private number. Thanks. Francis said, have a shot for me. You heard her. Bottoms up. We're both drinking water this podcast, Francis. So
right. You wouldn't believe it if you saw it, but it's happening.
Refreshing.
Yeah, that's good. That's a nasty old State Farm cup.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, man. I was spending too much time on Facebook, and it, like I said, it wasn't anything that I even wanted to see. And I hate that because I have plenty of things that I want to do with my time. Mm-hmm. And
okay, you got to stop calling from a private number. I'll just turn my phone off. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, you mistake Jacob for somebody who
we both know it's like DJ or somebody.
It's definitely it's one of two people. There's two people that call this show with fake numbers or automated numbers, and we know who you are. Yeah. We know who you are.
Man, Facebook. I like Facebook, especially because I can check my off-roading groups and shit and see funny videos and stuff. I like it just for everything. But what has been aggravating me lately is Marketplace. Marketplace used to be awesome. Like the algorithm had it figured out where I like cars and car parts and like cool shit. Mm-hmm. And now, all right, you're testing me.
I can't laugh because it's just encouraging them.
But now my Facebook Marketplace is only like shit that will ship to you, and I don't care. Like I don't care about any of it. It's like stickers and shit. I'm like I don't want any of this bullshit. I've never searched any of this. I've never interested in any of this. I don't know what the fuck you want from me.
Yep, I've been having that issue too, where it's like I'll search for one thing because there's so much shit that you can just get used for like a quarter of the price, and there's no reason to buy it new. And I'll get on there and I'm like, I'll search for one thing. It's like, yeah, here's somebody in Vermont that has. And I said, no, like 10 miles most. And I'm going to travel for like a broom or something, and here it is. I'll ship it to you for $5. I'm like, bro, I don't want to I will barely eBay something, Facebook Marketplace is like people used to it did not used to be so formatted. Like it didn't used to be so organized and like easy to click and buy things. It used to just be people posting in groups like, hey, you want this? And then sometimes they would bring the shit and sometimes they wouldn't. It was the Wild West for a little bit, especially when they let people sell guns.
Man. Don't forget, I got fucking $170 stolen
from me. Yeah. Dude, you've had like some super shitty experiences on the Facebook.
I just trust people too much.
I don't even know if it's that. I don't know what it is, but like you're like too forward to the point or something, because a couple of guys have just thought that like, all right, I could pull one over. I love the guy that lived halfway across the country, but you like found everything out that there is to know about him.
Found everything about him.
Called his work, said, guys, a warrant for his arrest.
I called his parents.
He called his parents. Did you know your son? He is wanted for failure to appear in court. What? Like, that's some devious shit, man. That's man. Psychological warfare. Yeah. I can't blame him though.
And that caused problems for our show because I fucking called my bank, told them I called PayPal and I told them that it was fraud, and they were like, "Well, you did authorize the payment." I'm like, "Yeah, but he never sent the product, so give me my money back." And they're like, well, we don't guarantee payments for Facebook because this happens so often.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay, so fuck me. Got it.
Yeah.
So then I called my bank. I'm like, hey, don't pay PayPal.
Mm-hmm.
And so then Facebook was like, oh, so we don't get our money, so you can't use our service no more.
Yeah, they made it ended up backfiring onto you, just trying to keep yourself from getting robbed.
Exactly.
Basically.
And I was like, oh, okay, so since I don't want $170 stolen from me, now I can't boost our posts. I can't, monetize anything about our show or anything.
Yeah.
And so I ended up finding a workaround, which I won't say. Yeah. Facebook, but
it'd be what it is.
Yeah, but I did find a way around it. But still, it felt like I was the victim, and then everybody was just shitting on me, like, well, what do you want us to do? We're out $170. I'm like, yeah, no shit. Like, I'm out the money, not you guys, you fucking billionaires.
Yeah. That's why you always buy that sort of stuff with a credit card, because you have effectively spent someone else's money.
Somebody's calling in from an actual number now.
All right,
so I'm going to test this before I put it on speaker.
All right.
Hello, this is Take Cover Podcast. That's exactly what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I think I recognize the voice from here.
Yeah, it sounded like old
Pokey.
Randy.
Old Pokey or Randy.
The old dog.
No telling. No telling.
Could you hear that?
Yeah, I can hear it.
So eat my butthole, bitch.
Yeah.
So that's what that was. It sounds like
we're used to that on here. That shit pretty much rolls off the shoulder at this point.
Pretty much.
Oh, speaking of shit rolling off the shoulder, Rush Limbaugh died today.
I did see that.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. He was probably like one of the biggest radio like voices in the past like 30, 40 years.
I never, ever listened to him. I never heard his name before. I seen it on like Family Guy or something one time.
I raised in a more conservative religious Catholic family, so I heard a bit of
Rush on the radio.
A bit of Rush came through the speakers at the house from time to time, and man, he was a lot of people really respected him, and talk radio may not be what it is today, if a guy like him didn't come along. He's very polarizing. A lot of people didn't like him because he was like the main conservative voice for a long, long time, and he never really fell from that stoop. He always had really big numbers and everything up until like later in his life, but R.I.P. to him. Whether you liked him or hated him, it doesn't really matter. He had an impact on this world, and it was pretty damn significant, and that's more than most people can say. So
that's true.
I mean, I towards the end there, he had a lot of stuff to say, and I hate that so many people were so mad at him for being a conservative voice. In the end, I know that there were obviously things said, but people say wild stuff all the time, but it is what it is. People are going to hate you when you're a loud voice, and there's nothing you can do.
When you're a voice at all, we get motherfuckers calling in the show to lick their assholes.
Yeah.
Like this. You know what I'm saying? Like no matter what, if you got an opinion, someone doesn't like it. And that's okay because we live in America.
Yeah, that's what I love about it. We can do stuff like this, and people like Rush can exist, and also people that are of different ideals can too, and nobody can really technically stop them. Unless they're, a real problem, which can definitely happen. You can definitely be a little crazy and say some wild shit on the internet and get pulled. So
we've had that happen.
Possibly.
Once or twice.
Once or twice. Somebody might have said something wild. It happens.
All right, I'm not going to answer your phone call anymore, man. So,
you get one. You get the...
I'll give you the token, like, lick my ass one time, but I'm not going to keep hearing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on.
Yeah, you got to come up with something better. Like, so if you're going to prank call Take Cover Podcast, you need to, you can't play your cards right away. You got to act like you're going to ask a question. Really act like you're into the show, and then pull the rug out from under us. That's how a real prank call is done. If DJ's with you, he should know better, okay? Which he probably is. So,
DJ should be on another level than just that. That was silly.
That's weak. That's by DJ standards. I've seen better. And if it's old raw dog Randy, he can.
It's definitely raw dog Randy. I recognize.
He can get the Los Manos if he wants them. He can get them.
Chase calling him out.
Yeah, man. I love the fact that people still call a show sometimes, even when we're like, all right, so you guys have lost phone speaking privileges.
So we're gonna have to take this away now, and
you can't give y'all motherfuckers nothing.
I hope you had a good time with that phone call. But
it can be productive sometimes, but. No.
It used to be very fun. Like, people would call in and actually talk to us and bullshit with us.
Well, it still does happen. It's just not as frequent.
Not really.
Not
really. It's usually just people doing that.
I can't blame them. It's fun. Did
you post my number this time?
No.
So it's definitely not
anybody new. Yeah, it's not hard. That's.
And by the way, that guy didn't even have a number, so DJ has to be with him. That or he saved it from my previous episode.
There you go. If there's a prank call coming, there's a very good chance that old DJ was involved. He is infamous around these parts for prank calls. Couldn't tell you.
The other thing that I've got going on,
which
you didn't notice when I came in here, is I have clear aligners now to finally fix my fucked up teeth.
I'm proud of you for taking the step and acknowledging that you feel like you can improve yourself.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. A couple years ago, before I got divorced, we went. What is it called? Like an orthopedist or something?
I think that's for your foot. Orthodontist.
Orthodontist. There we are. Went to the orthodontist.
Depends on how your teeth got that way.
Yeah, and they cut my foot off.
You're the worst dentist ever.
Went to the orthodontist, and they removed all 4 of my wisdom teeth, and then one tooth up here in the front, and that was to help with crowding. So I had a giant gap right there in the front. Well, then the plan was to go get my teeth like mapped out, and they were going to do Invisalign, blah blah blah. So we did all that, but it was going to be like $6,000.
Woo!
Yeah. And then they wanted like $250 a month or something for fucking clear aligner. So I'm like, bro, I ain't doing that. I got a hobby to sustain, you know? Like my teeth.
Got this far like this.
Yeah, I'm not worried about these teeth.
Yeah.
So I didn't do it. And now just over time, since then, my teeth have not only filled in that gap, but now it's starting to push the new middle tooth in the middle there.
Oh, great.
Sideways. And these top 2 teeth were going like out like horizontal with the floor or parallel with the floor. So I was like, fuck, I got to do something. Because like, you know, I don't know if you've ever had this problem, but like my teeth move a lot and I've always had fucked up teeth. So like whenever I can feel like my bite change, like when I close my mouth, like, oh fuck, like something's moving.
Yeah.
And so it was getting to the point where I was closing my mouth and like I could feel my teeth putting pressure on my lip.
Oh,
And I was like, yeah, it's not good. So
yeah.
I kept getting advertisements for like Candid and all the different brands and shit. So I looked into all of them, and I ended up going with Smile Direct Club. This podcast brought to you by Smile Direct Club.
Oh shit! Stuck it in there.
Ended up going with Smile Direct Club. And here's the thing: I was really nervous because I clicked on an advertisement. So advertising works.
Yeah.
Who would have thought? But they were doing like a $15 starter kit or whatever to see if you're eligible, where they send you the molds and stuff. And so I made an account on there, and I will say this. So if you're going to be an online service, you have to make it easy.
Yeah.
Right? And it does not get easier than Smile Direct Club.
Really?
Like I haven't tried any of the other companies, but literally you have to click like 2 buttons to get started. Like you make an account, you know, type in your information and shit, and then it's literally, and it's nice because it treats you like a baby, but in a nice way. So like it's like a polite way of like it explains everything for you without being wordy. It talks to you like a normal person instead of like they doctor. You seen me pull the aligners out before we got started, and they call that the aligner thingamajig or something, like is the actual name for it on the packaging. So like it's like normal people, and they explain things very easily. I've never spoken to a real person during this entire process, and all of my questions have been answered with either the literature they sent or on the website.
So
and it's super easy.
So you got all set up, you got your little liners thing. How long do they like say to have those in to like?
So you get to pick your plan, and you can either do them where you keep them in for 8 hours a day, which is going to be when you sleep.
Right.
You put them in when you sleep, and then you take them out and you go about your day. And that can take like up to 24 months, so 2 years to get your teeth straight. Yeah. Or you can do what I did and go with the 22 hours a day, which is only take them out when you eat.
Balls to the wall.
Of course. Yeah, I don't do anything half-assed. You know that by now.
22 hours a day.
You can do the 22 hours a day, which is what I did. And my teeth are pretty bad. And I'm on a 4-month plan.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So,
well, I know somebody who got, I think I'm not sure which one they might have went with the name brand, like really expensive treatment.
That's Invisalign.
It may be Invisalign that they had, and like within 2 weeks they had like a gap in their teeth. Within 2 weeks the gap was gone, and I was like, that's crazy. And I think they were doing the 22-hour a day, or like I think it's called, no matter if you keep them in all the time, it's called a 22-hour because you got to eat at some point, right?
Right.
But I've thought about doing it, not necessarily because like I'm like self-conscious about my teeth, but just because I've had teeth issues in the past where I've had my wisdom teeth taken out, but I've also had a root canal, and then I've also had multiple teeth crowned. So the backs, like my molars, when they came in when I was a kid, they had no enamel on them whatsoever. So they just rotted away.
That's
so I had
crazy.
no molars growing up until I was about 13 or 14 when I told my dad, or maybe I was like 10 or 11. My dad's like, okay, you got to start going to the dentist regularly because your teeth are messed up. And they're always decently straight. They're not like super crooked or anything. I got a couple that are a little turned, but
you seem like
but,
you had braces. At
yeah,
one point.
yeah. Most people ask that, and I'll be like, well,
Brooke's the same way. She's never had braces.
well, my
I think
biggest
they're
issue
fucking
is
straight.
that my bottom row teeth has gotten worse because I'm a nail biter,
Oh,
and when
yeah.
you nail bite, you pull on your teeth. And I didn't know that. And my dad told me about this. He said, from your x-rays, here, I'll show you an x-ray from 3 or 4 years ago. And he said, that tooth is ever so slightly turned a little bit because he says, I bet you're doing this right here. And he started doing the exact motion. I was like, yeah, I do that. And he said, you keep doing that, that tooth might turn all the way around on you. I was like, he's, fucking with me.
Right.
But it was just kind of cool that he pointed that out to me. And I was like, oh, shit. Just like a mundane behavior that, my casual nail chewing is causing my teeth to slowly be moved because you're chewing on a way that is not normal and you're pulling too. And they did say, like, if you want to do something, they're like, your teeth are fine, the spacing is fine with them. If you cosmetically want to have them improve, obviously it's different with insurance and stuff like that. If your teeth are like going to start causing health problems and they have to be fixed, that's one thing. But if it's a cosmetic thing, where I think that's where it fell under with the insurance, was like a cosmetic thing where you would get that paid for. And like I said, I've known a couple of people that have done it, and the amount of time that they do it is not very long. But once they've completed it, I'm like, yo, why did they even do braces?
Yeah, braces don't make any sense anymore. Like I said, so this is one of those things where if it was difficult, the user would just be like, fuck it, I'll just, you're already living with fucked up teeth. Like my teeth have been crooked all my life.
You don't see them.
So, it makes zero difference to me. Other people are like, oh, damn, I wish you could get his teeth fixed, but it makes zero difference to me. So if this was not an easy process, I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have stuck with it. I literally went to the site because of an advertisement out of curiosity just to see how much it cost.
Yeah.
By the way, for anybody wondering, it's $2,000 up front, or you can do $90 a month. $90 a month, bro.
For how long?
So the $2,000's paid.
$2,000. And that's just for 4 months, or is that for any of the treatments?
That's for any of them. It's
wow.
$2,000 flat. And if you pay up front, it's $1,800. So they give you a little cash discount. But
That's not bad.
Yeah, dude, like compared to 6 or 7, what I was looking at a couple years
braces
ago,
are very
Is it 6 or
expensive
7?
because you got to go back over and over again.
Over and over,
Yeah.
and it takes forever too.
Yeah.
It's not nearly as fast.
I think the perk of braces is that they're adjusted every few weeks, every few months, so that if
it's
your
like more
teeth
personalized.
Yeah, right. So if what ends up happening, like say, like if you're using the liner, but say like the mold was ever so slightly off or something, I don't really know exactly how that works, but you wouldn't be getting the same kind of like a guy looking at your x-rays like, oh, your teeth are actually not getting the right kind of space that they need. You fix this issue, but now this tooth is now rubbing your cheek, blah, blah, and then now you got to spend this money to fix that with a new mold type deal. But I don't know exactly how it works, but I'm glad that it's now more affordable than it used to be, because it used to be like $5 to $10,000.
Yeah, it shouldn't be that much. Let's be honest. And it's plastic fucking sleeves that go over your teeth. I don't know how they work, by the way. It doesn't make any sense to me. It seems like
Do they feel weird?
Yeah. So let me back up. So how it works? You order the mold. Mold comes in. You mix some putty together. You put it in a little tray. You bite down on it. You have to do it 2 times for upper, 2 times for lower.
Yeah.
You ship them back. Super easy. They have it for like 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
No, it was 2 weeks. 2 weeks for sure. And that was because the trays, the mold trays, they always come in medium, like just standard. But my front teeth were sticking out so far that it wouldn't fit in the medium trays without like scraping the front of it. So I had to get large trays. So they had to send me some of those, which, by the way, that's the one complaint I had, is their customer service guy. I called in and he acted like he was at a rave or something, and just, like it was super loud. He didn't have any time for me. Not like he was the most inconsiderate, and like it was super annoying.
Yeah.
And then he told me that they would be delivered in 3 to 4 weeks. And I was like, 3 to 4 weeks? There's nothing we can do to speed that up? And he's like, sorry, bud. Click. And just hung up. I was like,
damn.
Okay. And of course, I stayed on for the survey because you know how I am. But then they showed up at my door 3 days later. So I don't know what the fuck information he was looking at, or if he was just fucking with me or what. But anyway, so I got those. You send them back. They make your molds, and then they get your payment stuff squared away, and then they send you out all of your aligners. And it comes in a really cool box. It's like everything's soft, by the way. It's not like normal cardboard. It's like soft cardboard. It's like It's got like
recycled or something. Like
no. It's got like a coating on it that makes it soft. It's almost like a rubber. It's almost like a rubbery coating.
Wow.
Everything's just covered like. No, the case isn't like that. Never mind.
Anyway,
it's almost like a rubber coating, but you get this box and you open it up, and it's got like a little case there for your aligners, your puller thingamajig or whatever they call it. It's funny, and then teeth whitening stuff. So you can put teeth whitening stuff on, and then put your aligners in, and so it whitens your teeth at the same time you're straightening your teeth. That's a good idea, right? But then below the box, like it's got like a lid. And below it is all your aligners, and you just pull them up one at a time.
Oh, nice.
So you just pull it up, and on the front of it, it says, week 2, keep in for this long, whatever. And then you check in your aligners on the website. And so then when you change aligners, you check them in, and you're assigned like an actual doctor.
Oh, okay.
So I know who my doctor is. And they give you a smile stretcher in the kit, so you take pictures every week, and they look at how your teeth are adjusting.
Oh, okay, so that's way better than I initially thought.
And if they need to, they can adjust or whatever. But
okay,
I was surprised at how fast these work. Like I've only had them in since Thursday was my first day wearing them, and at Thursday night at that, and by Saturday morning I had a different bite.
Oh, wow.
When I bit down, like. I used to have such a bad overbite, or my teeth were just so far forward that my bottom teeth would hit the roof of my mouth, the soft part of my mouth.
Yeah. Oh,
and so now my teeth are hitting each other again, like when I close down.
Yeah.
So I was like, whoa, that's fucking 3 days and my teeth have already shifted.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, I'm super happy with it. We'll see how it goes, but so far so good.
Yeah, I've not been too focused on the teeth thing, but the only thing I was ever interested in was get my eyesight fixed, because I don't mind glasses. Glasses are fine, but I've never been a glasses guy. I don't like wearing them. They do help me see. They do make things easier for me, but with how cheap LASIK has gotten, I've been really considering it. I'm just waiting to see. I'm having some of my doctors and stuff like that change this year, and so I'm trying to see if I'll be a good fit for it, because my eyesight is not so bad that I can't function without my glasses, because, before I wore these glasses, did you ever see me wear glasses?
No.
And I didn't wear contacts, so
yeah.
I got fine just fine without glasses. So hopefully, my eyesight hasn't degraded enough to where I can just get the LASIK treatment, and then I won't have to worry about my eyesight or macular degeneration until later in life.
That's what happened to my dad. My dad got LASIK back when it was like a new thing. My aunt actually worked at one of the offices, and so she got him in at like a discounted price, which was still like several $1,000s.
Yeah, that's not cheap.
And he got it, and he had like inch thick glasses, you know, and after like a week, he was good to go.
Yeah.
And then now, he's got glasses again because he's losing his vision, getting older. But that part's natural at least. But I was talking about that with Brooklyn, man. Like, we live in such a great time to be alive. We can do all this shit. Like, why not do all this shit?
Yeah.
Like, Brooklyn is getting laser hair removal. Like, I think she has to just go to her last treatment, but she doesn't even have hair on her armpits no more. Like, why shave them?
Forever? They're just gone?
Yeah, just gone. And she did her bikini area, just gone. Never had to. Yeah.
Well, they'll save a lot of money on razors and stuff.
Well, not only that, but I was like, imagine how much time during your life you're going to spend shaving those areas.
Yeah. Just as a woman, yeah.
Every time she takes a shower, she's in there shaving for fucking 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm like, why would you not do that?
You're like, damn, the water bill about to be lower, the gas bill about to be lower.
It's an investment, bro. It's paying itself off.
Yeah, I never thought about that too, because there's so many little treatments that you can get that take small nuances away, and like shaving is one of them. I forgot about that because we were talking about teeth and
it's
eyes.
Not something we'd ever fucking have to think about.
Well, another thing that sucks that we can't fix is our hearing, because you and I both know we've shot plenty of firearms to know that. Yeah, you start to lose it pretty quickly, and I've had a few instances where firearms specifically where I didn't have proper ear protection on, and my left ear, it was in maybe sophomore or junior year of high school. We were I don't know what kind of bird hunting we were doing, but it was
probably ground nesting birds that are protected.
No. This was on. We were supposed to be.
We were hunting baby sea turtles on their way to the ocean.
And one of my buddies just There was nothing going on that day. We were just walking around, nothing to shoot. And we finally sat down at the last spot for the day. And I'll be damned, here come a nice flock right overhead. And my buddy just picked the shotgun up and started to turn, twist, and took no like spatial awareness at all. And he pointed the 12 gauge right here. I remember seeing the end of the barrel right there and looking back like this and seeing him line up a shot. And I turned like this really quick, and it was so loud. It was so loud that like it felt like somebody slapped me on the side of the head. That's how close it was to me. And like the ringing was so loud, but it fucked me up so bad in my balance because I could hear perfectly fine out of my right ear. But my left ear was like blown the fuck out. And I remember like a week later, I was in class trying to hear my teacher from the same spot I had been sitting in the whole year. And I couldn't hear a damn word she was saying unless I turned my head like this. And I was like, bro, is it not coming back? And I didn't know when I was that young. I did not know when I was that young that like your hearing it don't come back. And when it goes, it leaves this nice ringing noise that you can never forget.
Sometimes it's permanent.
That and I deal with that every night when I lay down.
So, for real?
Yeah, that's why I like having just a little bit of noise. I don't like fans are too loud, but like HVAC system has to be running, or there has to be something that I can hear. Otherwise, it's just.
What is that called?
Tinnitus.
Tinnitus. Yeah. That's what it was in Baby Driver.
You
ever see that? It was a good movie.
I haven't seen it, but I know exactly what you're talking about. I didn't know that it was something that was permanent when I was that young, unfortunately. Otherwise, I would have taken a lot better care of my ears. And like another thing is like our generation has like earbuds.
Yeah.
Always. And the earbuds get loud, like so loud. And like I remember so many times putting my earbuds in and like going for like a bike ride and like just pounding my fucking eardrums like for hours.
Well, Galaxy has the warning. Like,
it
makes you click OK.
I remember, like I used to have a little Zen little Zen MP3 player from Creative Clouds that, had like 2 gigs of space on it. It was huge at the time.
Right. Yeah.
And
it's unthinkable.
And like it was just a little MP3 player, and I'll be damn, that thing would get loud, and it would tell you at like the last 3 settings, it's like this could damage your hearing, and I was like,
good.
Yeah, and I've been doing that for years. This year,
skater boy at the top of your lungs.
Oh gosh, no! Up until this year when I've started working from home, where I don't have to wear earbuds, like because at my work I want to be left alone and stuff like that. But working from home, I don't have to have earbuds. I can just play music over the speakers quietly, or I can put on like a headset that covers my entire ear and I can play it a lot quieter. And as I've gotten older, I'm like, man, I'm not necessarily worried about those things, but you definitely think about them a lot more as you start to feel the effects of them, as you start to bite into your gums, or you start to like, damn, I can't see that shit anymore. I looked into LASIK a couple years ago, and I really was gonna get it, but my eye prescription had expired, and they're like, if it expires at all, you have to go and get another prescription for like at least 6 to 8 months, and I like just forgot about it after that because it is what it is. I mean, I don't really care that much. I would prefer not to have glasses just because all the things I like to do, like glasses get in the way. I like sports, martial arts, and stuff like that. But I don't need glasses for martial arts, because it's so up close that I can see everything fine.
I have to have contacts or glasses in. My thing is, I don't ever take care of my contacts like I should. Like, ever.
I know. I can see you over there.
Yeah, like I keep my contacts in until like I get headaches, like months.
Yeah. You straight up, what's the longest you've ever left one pair of contacts?
I don't count. Like, so I had a year or
that makes so much sense. I've always wondered, I was like, damn, you need some new contacts.
I had a 6-month supply of contacts, and it lasted me over a year and a half.
Holy shit.
And then I only went back to the eye doctor because I didn't have any contacts. By the way, in that time, my eye doctor retired, and there was some girl in there, and I was like, who are you? And she was not nice, so I'm not going back there. But yeah, so, I take them out. Like, if something gets in my eye, and or my eyes just stay irritated for more than like a day, I'll change my contacts. Or if I start getting headaches every day, I'll change my contacts. But yeah, I don't take them out every night. And
bold.
Is what it is.
Both.
I've never had any problems. I've done it since I was 16. I've never had any
Okay, so you're
problems.
used to it then. I know some people that like their eyes are so sensitive that like if they wake up in the mornings like and they have left them in, their eyes are going to be burning the whole next day.
Mine used to like I would wake
They
up.
used to.
Yeah, I would wake up and like my contacts would be in the back of my eye folded up or something.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah, like your eyes dry out when you sleep.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like if they dry up and you got contacts in, then you try to open them, like it rolls the contact up.
Bro, how do you get them out? You just like pull your eyelid up?
You have to. Oh, dude, it feels like there's sand in your eye or like a rock under your eyelid. Like it hurts so.
You still
you
won't
open
take
your
them
eye,
out?
it just pours. Oh, dude, it sucks real bad. And then your eyes stay irritated for like all day. That hasn't happened to me in years, but now I just wake up like normal. Like it's like I don't even have to worry about wearing contacts until I start getting headaches. But I do want to get LASIK. The only thing I don't want to get it, or the reason I haven't looked into it more is because I can't imagine like the feeling of like putting your head down and then staring into a laser and then it like cuts your fucking eye, and that's what scares me.
Yeah, that is kind of, I never really thought about that. Maybe.
And then I seen Final Destination,
Yeah.
and so like that's a whole nother
Yeah.
thing,
I wonder how that I don't know how the procedure goes. Obviously, I know it involves a laser. That's how they recut your eyes, but surely they like put you to sleep or something
No.
so some sort of like
Dad said that they told you to stare into this green light that's in the middle, and then like he said that you don't really feel it, like they numb you up or something. You don't really feel anything.
they probably put the numbing eye drops in there.
Yeah, but you don't really feel anything, but you can like you see, like you're staring at the light and then like you see something happening and then like your vision goes blurry and then it comes back. And then you like can't use your eyes anymore. You have to like put sunglasses on that are super dark for a couple days.
Yeah, I talked to a couple of people that had it done, and they said it only took them about 48 hours to get back on their feet. And their eyes were a little sensitive to bright lights, but they could go about their day as long as they weren't out midday looking up into the sky.
I just want to know, like all this fucking FDA shit and like clinical trials and shit. Like, how did we ever get to the point where like, okay, hear me out. I want to cut a human's eyes open with a laser. Like it sounds like a torture thing.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
right.
saying? Like,
cut the layer of flesh off of their eye to reposition it so you can see right.
It's weird.
I wonder. The procedure itself has gotten a lot cheaper and a lot more accessible in the past like couple decades, but I wonder. Like. I'm the morbid mentality where I'm thinking like I wonder like what really goes wrong most of the time. Like when you think about what happened to people when their LASIK surgery goes wrong or something like that, I wonder like what's the worst that could happen rather than oh yeah, my eyesight's fixed, or like all right, you got one eye now, bud.
Yeah.
We cut too deep.
Right.
I don't really. Yeah, that would be my only thing. Would be like yeah, I got that luck to where like he's like using the laser and he's like sneezes or some shit. Just stop. Fuck.
I feel like fuck.
Got another one.
Becky, get the prosthetic ready.
Oh no.
I feel like I could trust that it would be done properly.
Right.
I don't really have terrible luck when it comes to shit like that. It would just be the haunting thought of like I know at some point I'm going to be laying flat with my head in some kind of vice with my eyes pried open by something. Super uncomfortable. Nobody likes that feeling.
Yeah.
And then you're just having to wait for this laser to cut your eyeballs. And I'm like, that is what I couldn't deal with.
You telling me that, I was like, I didn't really visualize it up until that moment when you said, yeah, they got to strap you into a fucking chair and shoot a laser into your eyes.
They're not going to let you move.
I have enough trouble with the little puff of air that they shoot in your eye in the dark. So I'm like, oh.
Every time I'm like, I don't have to do that, right? Like, I'm an adult. Like, I can skip that.
Like it's so fucking funny because every time I do it, every time I get the little puff of air in my eye at the eye doctor's, my reaction is so ridiculous.
Mine too.
And I hate it.
Oh fuck!
I'm lifting at jumping out of my chair and landing back in it, and I'm like, sorry. It doesn't always happen like that, but it really does. And they're like, okay, well we got to do it again. And I'm like, on the other eye, no, same eye, you messed it up. Okay. She's like, look at the house, don't move. 3, 2, and so they'll mistime it so that they can do it. And one time I like jerked away and like hit my face on the other machine, and then I like it was a whole thing, and they're like, don't worry, we won't make you do it again. And then the doctor was like, "Did you not do the eye thing?" And I was like, "I did the eye thing, and I never did the eye thing." So I just didn't have to do it that time.
That's good. I try to get out of it every time I go, which has only been like twice.
Painful as fuck. Like, it's just startling as all hell because like it's your fucking eyeball. You don't
that, and if they can make it happen without like a noise, that would be helpful. like no, yours just does mine does like a clunk. Like it's like a
it does make a click noise, but I have no idea.
Like if they can make it quiet.
Oh, I thought that was a Snapchat thing, but it's not. It's a completely different app. It's a bell. I was like, dude, I haven't had Snapchat on my phone in months. What have I said? I've done something wrong. Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know what kind of random fucking cosmetic surgery I'll end up getting, but I know I'll probably
butt implants.
Some booty. I don't need those.
Neither of us do. Fuck.
We can get some donated. Yeah. I really do want to do the LASIK just because a lot of things that I like to do like just involve like my life would just be better with better eyesight. I mean, there's no easier way to put that, right? You know, I'm not blind, but you should think twice about. Never mind. I'm not even gonna finish that. I definitely have had better eyesight when I was younger, but on my prescription, it's not really gotten much worse. It's just gotten laterally worse. Yeah. Where it's like, it's just kind of weird now over here instead of what? What do you mean weird? It's just changed a little bit. I'm like, what does that mean? Yeah, your eyes, they just kind of change as you get older. And I was like, okay.
Mine continuously gets worse.
What's sad is like, they're like, you spend a lot of time looking at a computer screen lately. I'm like, yeah.
Bro, so much porn.
Well, it's just the job of having to work on a computer all day, every day for 8 hours, and then like also wanting to play video games, and then also wanting to watch stuff with your significant other, and then also like everything in life is like look at the screen, and then so that's I guess that's a good, you can say that as an eye doctor no matter what, and you're probably right 90% of the time. You've been looking at a lot of screens lately? No, of course you fucking have. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. It's like the dentist when you got a cavity. You've been eating candy or you've been brushing lately? They know you ain't been brushing.
They're in there. They understand.
They know. They can see
know
it.
What it is.
Do you know that we can see you? There's no point in lying to the doctors. They're gonna find out anyways. I just
dude,
shit's expensive.
I got home from work and Brooklyn was sitting like Brooklyn is off again this week. Super jealous. Fucking every time anyone at that fucking factory gets corona, then they just let everybody go home paid for the week. If anybody at my work gets corona or I get corona, then we're unpaid for 2 weeks. Damn. This is like the second month she's had off at this point. It's fucking love. Anyway,
must be nice,
yeah. So she's off, and I get home, and she's like, "We're going to Evansville." I was like, "Why?" And she's like, "I just found a Nintendo Wii for sale. It's like $100, and it comes with a stand and like all these games and blah blah blah." And she's been looking for a Wii for a long time now. And I was like, "All right." So we go up there, we get it, and we come back, and now she has been on a Wii frenzy, man. Like we had to go get. By the way, all the games are like $3, so you can't beat it. Yeah. It's funny signing in and seeing the copyright of 2007 to 2009.
Right.
And I was like, can we get, like, it plugs into AV on your TV?
Yep.
I was like, we just bought our TV. I was like, does our TV even have AV jacks
you have to get like a little converter box.
Right. I was like, do we have to get like an HDMI conversion or something?
Yeah.
And I was like, do they have like an HDMI conversion? Because this is like not great quality. Yeah. She was like, it's old. And I was like, I know, but like it could be a little crisper,
It could be a little
like
better.
The lines could just be a little sharper.
A little
blurry.
Yeah, the Wii was not known for its graphical capabilities.
Yeah.
I've been getting into a lot. Apparently the retro gaming industry has blown up during quarantine, and I've been a victim of it too, man. I've been like really playing a lot of old games that I played when I was growing up, and it's weird because they may not even be good games, but you want to play them because they were part of your childhood,
Yeah.
Like you have that nostalgia feeling with some of those games, even if they were bad. And so like, a lot of my friends have been talking about
Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah. Well, I got Frances Nintendo 64 for Christmas because she had one, growing up, and We had talked about it a lot, and I got her one. And I also got her, which is really cool. It's this cartridge that has an SD card in it, and you can put all your gaming backups, they call them, onto there and play all your backed up games. From wherever you back them up from.
Yeah.
And
So
you can just
download illegal games from the internet and play.
you can get your backups from previous games that you download through some sort of other means and then put them onto the SD card, your backups.
Yeah.
And you can play all your games that way. And I've found out that there's a lot of older retro systems that have that capability. And so I'm like, I kind of want to get that for a couple of the old, because I used to have a Game Boy Advance I played all the time. I still have it. And they have a similar cartridge type deal for the Game Boy Advance as well. And I was like, well, I can go through and play through a lot of my childhood when I'm bored and not have to pay a ton of money for it, because like I said, the retro gaming industry has like blown up. So now like a game that's very old that might have been $5 or $6 before this, before quarantine, has now gone up to like $30 to $40.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Wii Sports is $30.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
So this is so funny. I had a bunch of old games in a box years ago, and I put them in there. They were from like past roommates that just left shit and they just never claimed it. So I just kind of kept stuff around. And I had a bunch of PS2 games laying around. And I was talking to some of my gaming buddies and that I know are into this sort of thing. And I was like, hey, I got a bunch of old PS2 games. Like, all right, what do you got? And so I'm going through them. I got this, got this, got this. I was like, I'll part them out for like $2 to $5 a piece, you know, depending on what they're worth. And I said 1, and he said, oh, what was that other one? And it was Silent Hill 2 or 3 or something like that. And he said, I want that. Set that to the side. I want that. How much you want for it? And I was like, it's worth $4, $5, ain't it? And so I went on my phone real quick. It's like $150 game. So I told the guy, I was like, yeah, I've heard about this one being kind of popular, and I didn't know how much it's worth. He's like, it's worth a little bit, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. I would feel bad buying it from you for $5. I was like, all right, well, let me look around and see what it's worth, and then I'll get back to you. Ended up selling it to him for $100.
Yeah.
And it was a game that I never played, so I didn't have any sentimental attachment to it. But he was like, dude, I can resell this for $150 on the internet. So, but he's a collector, so he's like, no, I just got a deal on like a game that nobody else can get, and it was mint condition, no issues with it or anything. Hardly been played.
I'd probably pay some money to be able to play Red Faction or Driver.
Driver is so good, man. Like the first, dude. I
feel like I'd be let down by playing them again. My memory has probably hyped them up quite a bit. No, I used to play Red Faction for hours.
Red Faction was like one of the first like games that had like destructible environments and you could blow shit up. And a lot of people love it for that. And I know a lot of people that went out and got copies of that. The Mercenaries games. I don't know if you played any of those, but they were similar in that kind of capacity where you can blow up a lot of shit.
Like a Hot Wheels game. It was a lot of fun.
There's like I said, there's now like emulators and stuff like that you can run on your computer that are just software based, where you don't even really need to have the physical console anymore. Yeah. But with retro gaming, the whole thing is having the original thing. Yeah. You're playing it just like you used to. You will not take an emulator for an answer unless I know some people that build like arcade decks where it's like they have a computer in there, but they have all the wires running out for each controller, and you can kind of play it like you would, but it's like a big old arcade box type deal. But that's like a project, you know, like what would be somebody's project card. Somebody will spend hundreds of hours building a gaming cabinet, you know. But I got lucky with that game specifically that I didn't have any attachment to it. But what really bummed me out was that I was going through it. Once I saw that game, I was going through, I was thinking, I was like, well, what other games have I had in my past that are worth money now? And I was like, oh, all of them. All the games that I had are now like $50, $60 games again. And I'm like, okay, of course. And
all the ones you probably threw in a trash bag at some point.
Gave them to my brother, and then he pennied them out to Book and Music Exchange or some shit. You know, he sold them for like $1, pennies on the dollar for Xbox 360 games, you know, when they were popular. And now I think the move now is since like, I don't know about you, but I played a ton of Xbox 360. Xbox 360 games are super cheap right now. Xbox 360s are super cheap right now, less than $100. The games are cheap. They're about to start getting like as cheap as they're going to get, and then they're going to go into the retro gaming market, and then the Xbox 360 prices and everything will go back up. So
really, Xbox 360, I can see like the original Xbox.
Yeah, it is. But what I'm saying is, eventually people are going to look at like guys like me and you who played a lot of 360 in a day. 10, 15 years from now, I kind of want to play some Black Ops Zombies with my dudes like I used to.
Bro.
You know how much somebody would pay for Black Ops Zombies 15 years from now that hasn't got a chance to play it?
The Nintendo Wii, right?
Yeah.
That Brooklyn got. Yeah. We got Black Ops with it, Call of Duty Black Ops.
It's on there.
I try to go on multiplayer. Servers don't work
anymore. They don't work.
You can't get online with it. But it had zombies.
Yeah. Oh,
and I never played zombies on the Wii. By the way, it's ass. I would not suggest it for anyone. I couldn't even. I was like, from me to you to a zombie that was breaking through a barrier, and I could not hit him for shit. Like, there's like a 4-second delay on moving your guy around.
Yeah, the Wii is like a portal into like what early VR looked like, where the VR is just the screen in front of you and the remote that you can point at it.
And you have to be like 20 feet away or it just won't.
You have to be in the perfect spot and like this is so funny. When I had a Wii, I had World at War, Call of Duty World at War for the Wii, and then Call of Duty Modern Warfare 1 for the Wii. So like two of my favorite shooters of all time for the Wii randomly. Right. They were just given to me as gifts, which was so funny because I already had them up for the 360. So it was funny that somebody was like, "Yeah, you want this game for the Wii?" Yeah. And like I would play online, and like you could tell that everybody playing was like a child because you would just walk into a lobby, and dudes are just like. It's like at shipment, and they're just walking into the wall and like spinning, and everybody's doing that, and I'm just walking up and like trying so hard to shoot them. I figured out the trick was to sit in a chair and rest your elbow on something so you can micro aim, and I got really good that way.
Well, see, the Wii she bought comes with this little plastic like gun. That
yeah.
So I was like, oh, this is gonna be badass. And be like,
not good.
The reaction time is not there.
No,
it is not there. It does not work.
It does not translate well. That's one of the things I've loved about my VR headset in there. You're going to have to play it sometime. You're going to have to come over here and spend a couple hours playing with it because I've got a couple of like VR shooters that are pretty fun for what they are. The graphics aren't insane, but if you haven't like done VR a lot, it's fun. Right. It's really fun. And it's called Onward. It's just like a little tactical shooter for VR, and it's pretty good. It's very intense because you can play against the bots offline, and like it'll just be you versus like 3 or 4 bots. Yeah. And like you're like, whatever, I've kicked 1,000 bots ass in my life. But then like you're like, oh, I'm here. Like you feel there. There's speakers right next to your ears, and they do this cool thing where it washes out noise through basically like a noise canceling system where it's basically like a big old air conditioner going, and then it plays the sounds over top of that. So you don't hear anything happening around you. You just hear, sounds like you're in a Walmart basically. And then you can hear the game sounds. But I really wanted to stream some of it to the page, but it just, I'd have to pay more money in order to stream more things the way that I want to. I'd have to get a streaming service that
You're too picky.
Yeah, I'm too picky. It doesn't look
too much of a perfectionist.
It doesn't look good enough to where like anybody would enjoy it, and that's why I'm like, I don't. You know how I am with the podcast. You'd be surprised. Yeah, because it seems like that's how it is most times. But you definitely have to sit around and play it, just because I know you like your shooters. You're a basic bitch. You like your shooters, but how would you like your shooters if they shot you? You know, like it's pretty cool. Like the games that are coming out for VR. Now that like Oculus and Facebook is into the VR gaming market, it's exploded because they're getting quick updates out there. Their hardware is pretty good. Like the Quest 2 that I have, the only downside is that you do have to log into Facebook for it. But I already have a whole ass podcast where like I'm already out here saying shit every week anyway. So I wasn't like, I gotta log into Facebook.
My privacy.
Yeah, my privacy. I was like, Facebook is literally in my home for several hours a week, every week.
Right. Bro. You know who needs to get in the VR game?
Who's that?
Tesla. Let's get a Tesla VR.
Well, they got that Neuralink shit going, so they might not need a headset. They might just plug directly into your fucking head, bro.
It's just like I've never heard of anyone else besides like Elon and Tesla that can like say an idea and then it's like reality. But the thing is like none of it is actually reality yet. Like
Yeah.
it's everything's like, well, like 2 years it'll be on the road, like the Roadster S or
Yeah.
whatever, and then 2 years goes by and he's like, well, we're building a production plant here and blah
Yeah.
blah blah. Like the Cybertruck, he was just on Rogan's podcast the other day saying it's gonna be another 2 years before
Yeah.
they can even produce it.
Yeah.
I'm like, then what? Like,
Yeah.
I feel like Cyberlink's kind of the same way.
Yeah, so that's what I've noticed is that there's so many projects that are going on underneath, SpaceX, Tesla, and all the different available projects that like is under the umbrella of Elon Musk. And I will say this: they have been bad about the taking pre-orders for stuff and then taking several years to come to fruition, but. A lot of the things that are practical and useful have come to fruition. I mean, Tesla pretty much owns the electric vehicle market right now.
Yeah.
Like when you think of electric vehicle, you don't think of the Chevy Volt. You think of a Tesla.
Right.
When somebody says electric, they got one of those fucking Tesla cars, bro. You
Yeah.
you don't say you got one of those Mach-E Mustangs, bro. You just
Yeah.
don't say that. And there's a reason for that. And then also, like the company, it's multiple companies, and the cool thing that I like is that the technology patents are not there. So like a lot of the technology like is just up for grabs. Not all of
Yeah.
it, but some of it is. And I like that because a lot of corporations, like you can't just build a Chevy Volt. You can't just order all the parts and then
Right.
build one. They'll take you to court for that. There's not a lot of people out there that are building things and then being like, all right, take from it what you will.
Well,
One of
this is not really like that either.
right. They're
Their
not
software,
necessarily.
especially.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I get why for some things, but at the same time, the cool thing I do like is that a lot of the like projects under his umbrellas, like the solar paneled roofs, like the self-sufficient homes, are great ideas, amazing ideas, because they limit how much you need from other people, right? Where you now have the capacity to be much more self-sufficient. And a lot of people have vested interest in you not being self-sufficient.
Yeah.
Whether it's for evil means or for good means, a lot of people are invested in you being relied on, or you relying on them. And our infrastructure is kind of built around that right now, where like we have utilities that, we don't trust any private third-party people to take care of it, so we made it a utility, and now the state takes care of it. They regulate it.
And you're not allowed to live without it, by
Yeah,
the way.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like you can't just like, I mean, you can, but you have to jump through many, many loopholes to get away from the infrastructure that exists.
You can't just decide like, no, I don't want electricity ran to my house anymore.
Yeah, exactly. And it's because like we built the whole ass infrastructure up to your house, we hooked it up, and blah blah. You can't just not have it, bro. You have to, and you pay taxes on the stuff, and their rates go up based on what they say. You don't necessarily have like a lot of say in the matter. I mean, you can at public forums and everything, but one of the things I've liked about what Elon Musk's at least infrastructure ideas that he's pushing is, self-sufficient. He's looking at like HVAC systems, which are completely powered like 95% off the grid. And I'm like, that's awesome. You got like the Tesla, like the solar panels, the battery system that they build into your home where you can store energy. And then the energy companies, depending on how much energy you use, may owe you a refund check.
Right.
And that's cool. That's really cool because that sets a precedent where, hey, wait, we don't need to rely on this company to get us this product. We can get it ourselves from a renewable resource or multiple renewable resources rather than an older infrastructure that was built on coal, oil, natural gas.
Until it snows.
Until it snows. And
I've
that's
seen a lot of those posts the past couple of days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, look.
The windmills are froze. The solar panels are covered.
And that's when you need something like a backup sort of energy, kind of like how France does. They're mostly solar, wind, and electric, except for whenever they go, when they're using a lot of energy, when a lot of public events are going on and everything, they have to supplement with coal energy because it's super quick. You can build a coal plant in like 3 years. It takes like 20 years to build a nuclear plant, so there's a reason why we have 50 to 1 coal and natural gas plants compared to hydroelectric and wind farms, stuff like that. It's cheaper. The rate of return comes back very quickly. And as an investment, everybody's always going to need energy. Who does not want to invest in the energy sector?
Yeah.
It's people are constantly using more and more energy. So I get it. Why a lot of people lately have been on Elon Musk shit because now he's like a billionaire and now he's with Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
And I get that mentality.
The fucking headlines like 2 years ago was that Elon Musk is broke and Tesla's going under and blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah.
Well,
Yeah.
and then he got involved in the whole like GameStop trading and now the Dogecoin trading and stuff like that. And
his tweets are affecting the market. And
yeah,
shit.
I can't even get into that shit because I don't know what's right and what's wrong as far as the fucking imaginary stock market that exists in the ether. But
Bro, I'm just mad that I finally, after like 3 years, sold my Bitcoin because it was just tanking. I was like, and now it's fucking $50,000 in Bitcoin.
It's more than it was when we had the podcast when you bought the Bitcoin.
Bro, like, for anybody who doesn't know, so when we had a podcast where we brought on a guy who like mines Bitcoin, like that's all he did, and he had a bunch of rigs and shit, and he was like, man, it's blowing up, you got to get on board, like this is just the beginning. And so I bought like $100 in Bitcoin and I bought like $50 in Ethereum, which nobody had ever even heard of at the time.
Yeah.
It was like, he was like, this is the next thing, like buy what you can now. So I got all that shit, and then like the next day, Bitcoin just tanked.
Yeah.
And I bought in at like, what was it, $15,000?
Yeah.
Or something. It was
Might
like the
have been
all-time
more,
high.
Yeah, it was like 20 something. It was 20 something at one point, and then it dropped and settled in the 15s for a while.
Well, I bought in when it was at the high, which of course, you never know when that's gonna be, but until later. But I bought in, and then just 2 years, 2.5 years goes by, and just nothing. Like it's still just bottomed out steady. So I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna sell this. Take the loss. I pulled out like $40. I put in $150. I was like, okay, just whatever. It's just small money, whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, now of course I've taken it all out. Now Bitcoin's through the fucking roof.
Yeah, that's funny that it's come full circle like that because now it's worth even more than it was before.
Right.
And there are some people that probably Matt Knight sitting there. I told him.
Yeah.
It took a few years, but I told him.
Right.
But it's so volatile that there's sometimes those Bitcoin folks that have invested so much into Bitcoin are going to be some of the richest people for a few weeks.
Yeah.
And then they're back down to poor. And then they're like, damn it, I got to get my regular job back.
Well, it seems like that's what we're seeing with the Dogecoin thing.
Yeah.
It's like it was like a grassroots, like let's make the average day person a millionaire, and let's get it to $1 and shit. And then it seemed like people, it was almost like the opposite of what it appeared to be because everybody was like, oh, I bought 13,000 shares for less than a penny 2 weeks ago, and now let's all get on this bandwagon and let's get it to $1. When in reality, they got it to 5 cents, I think it's at now.
Yeah.
And these people are millionaires that had it originally.
Yeah.
But now all the people are like, oh, it's only 5 cents. We'll just keep buying it.
Yeah.
But it's just staying at 5 cents because now all the original people are selling out.
Yep.
So now it's
and
like,
they had a big
now
bulk
you have
of it.
a useless fucking stock because it's going to stay there.
It is. It's very interesting because it is kind of pyramid scheme-esque. At times, and
you have to know when to sell. That's the thing.
It is. You have to be so hands-on with like trading like that you can't have time for other hobbies.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're gonna miss out on money. You can't just like. That's the thing. That's the nasty secret about the stock market is that you don't just throw your money in there and forget about it. It's there for you to look at and to monitor. And they made it so easy to micromanage your money on an app.
Buy,
sell, that this is what they want. They want more trades faster because that means the economy is doing good. People are trading money, commodities, and all the other bullshit that they trade on the stock market. And that indicates that confident buyers and sellers is a good thing for an economy. People are confident in selling, and they're also confident in buying, so that money flows. Yeah. But the dirty secret is that, it's just gambling at its root. You are... Yeah. Well, for most people, some people are straight up investing because they want something to succeed. And it is kind of a gamble, too, because you're saying, I am putting all this money into this company because of whatever reason. I saw this, or I think this is righteous, or whatever. I have all this money that I can just liquidate and do whatever I want with, and so I'm going to put it into this company to make it succeed, and I'm going to be, majority stakeholder and all that good shit. And people do that until they're broke. They do that until they're rich, and it sucks that the day traders from like Robinhood and what's the other big one?
Robinhood pissed off a lot of
Acorn,
people.
maybe. There was another one that had already done some shitty stuff before, and then Robinhood obviously got caught up in this because I don't even got to say it. Like, it was just so funny. Like, it was funny to see because they were like, oh, you could tell who they were protecting. It was just funny.
Like,
I didn't have any money in it, so it was funny to me. Yeah.
I had an application already in for Robinhood because I wanted to get on the Dogecoin hype train when that was first taken off. And when that shit happened, like, I was still, like I said, I was still waiting for my account to be activated and shit. But, you know, you have to give them your social security number, your billing address, all that shit for federal tax purposes. And then when all that shit happened, I emailed their customer support center. I was like, delete all my data. Don't take anything from my bank account. Because, like, I had, you know, money pending to go to trade with, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, don't take anything. Don't delete all my fucking data. I don't want you to have any of my shit. And they sent me an email back saying, sorry you feel this way. We've deleted all your information, blah, blah, blah. But then also, on the other hand, like, all these people my age, I see them posting up on social media, like, their profits and shit. I'm like, you understand? Like, I doubt you're paying taxes on that. Like, I doubt you're filing your taxes on that. And
properly.
Like, they've got your social security number. They're filing their taxes on this.
Yeah.
Because this is a business, so they have to show where their income's coming from.
Yeah.
Their income's coming from you doing your thing.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know, kind of rolling the dice in more than one way on
it's a tricky line, and I think what's going to end up happening is there's going to be a nice little bubble with it because I know that I'm speaking way over my head, but there's a lot of people that jumped into day trading whenever the beginning of Corona really broke out in the United States. I get it. People do anything to make a buck. And the predatory articles that are like, here's how to turn your stimulus check into $25,000. Invest it into this. And I'm like, that's as much, you know, predatory as like a credit lender going after somebody who, you know, some kid who's like 18 years old and they're sending them credit card shit. That's like, you can buy your entire fucking life dream with this card. I know, I hate it. It's sick, but you know, that's the kind of society we live in, man. You got buy, sell, everything. Everything's like that.
Yeah.
We hardly ever value the things we do have. It's always like buy the new thing or make more money doing this or whatever. So I try not to get caught up in it. I know a lot of friends that are caught up in it, and they're fired up, man. They've made a little bit of money. I'll give them that. But have they really made the money, or is it just sitting in a fake account where they can't actually access it? Because that doesn't really do much for you if you've traded all these currencies around, and now you just have this money in an account that you can't really withdraw because you're going to get hit with some nice taxes, and you can't really spend it. You can only really like keep moving it around, keep playing with it like it's a video game and moving around until you lose it, or you.
Like, meanwhile, your real money went into that.
Yeah. That was okay. So that's so funny because I remember for a while there was this multi-level marketing scheme that was going around Owensboro really heavy for a while, and it was the wealth generators, and a bunch of people that I went to high school with got hooked up in it, and it was just a pyramid scheme. Like, it was you know, you get your friend to join, then he joined, and they would penny stock trade like day traders would. But it was to like it's penny stocks, so there's really no money to be made, but you would have to pay to trade and pay to use their algorithm to make you money. But the algorithm wasn't making you money, it was making them money. Right? Because it's trading in a way that's adherent to what they wanted, right? And I had so many friends that are like, yeah, you just pay $80 a month and you can trade unlimited. And I'm like, $80 a month? 12 months a year. And I was like, I can do this many trades. And I was like, dude, this is a short, dude. And like, they're like, no. If you pay up and get $200, join my team, $200, you get unlimited, you get the premium benefits. And I'm like, you're selling me a plan right now, like a life insurance agent.
Yeah.
And like, I told him, I was like, because I'll play into it. I like playing into stuff like that because even if I have no intention,
I like rooting it out.
Yeah. Well, it's sometimes you can just get them to say the thing that you want them to say. As far as like, I know this is a scheme now.
Yeah.
Because like he was telling me about it, and I said, okay. So he's like, if you join my team, blah blah blah, we get rewarded, we get this, blah 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 that, and then you can start your own team, and then you get rewarded. And I was like, so you got your team and you get 3 people, and then I get 6 people and they get 6 people. And I was making the pyramid out.
Yeah.
And I was like, are you sure that's not like a pyramid scheme? He's like, nah, dude, I made like $20 last night. And I was like, $20 last night. And then I was like doing quick maths in my head, which weren't adding up at all. But I was like, man, that just doesn't seem like a lot of money. He's like, dude, it adds up over time. And I was like, I just couldn't.
Yeah.
I didn't have the heart to be like, I think you're being scammed. But then I also like wanted to keep seeing how hard he would defend this thing he just hopped on board with, to these guys who somehow flew in a private jet to Owensboro to give you a seminar from a world-class trader who's going to make you rich so you can stand next to Lamborghinis and tell people they're going to be rich someday too. And like they give the same spiel, man. They all do.
When I worked at Tom Warner, there was a dude there who sold like one of those pyramid schemey products that was like some health benefit product.
I know the one, Advocare or some shit.
I can't remember, but and he was always an advocate for it. The thing was with him, like he was just trying to sell it. Like he didn't try to get anybody to join his team or anything. He was real aggressive about it, but he was just selling it. And then and that was when like I first realized, like, I thought that shit was illegal, like pyramid schemes. I thought all that was illegal, but I guess you can still do it in some ways that like it's not a pyramid scheme, even though it is.
It's not technically illegal.
Then I've got a friend on Instagram, and he was posting. He was like, "New truck paid for, new house paid for, like blah blah blah. Check out how I'm doing it. DM me." I was like, oh, "I'm a DM you. Fucking new house paid for. Okay."
Yeah.
So I DM him. He's like, "Yeah, man. Check out my link here." So I click on the link and I go to this real suspicious looking website.
Yeah, no lock on the top.
Yeah, it's like it's health products that none of this has been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. Like this is gonna make you rich overnight shit. And I was like, man, I would be really careful with this company. And he's like, no, man, I've been doing it for like 6 months. I'm making money hand over fist. If you join my team, in 6 months you can have your own team and you start rolling. I was like, just be careful. And like if you suddenly try to go to this website and it doesn't exist, like just understand that like you might get a knock at your door one day.
Yeah.
He was like, no, man, everything's on the up and up. I was like, as long as you're confident. And I hope it is. I hope the best for everybody. Shit like that scares me.
My favorite thing ever is whenever you can favorite. Wow, this makes me sound very, very sick. It's more really the saddest thing ever is seeing people who like will not get a job and then they jump into one of those pyramid schemes.
Oh yeah.
And they think that they have now created like a source of income that you can't criticize because they're like, I'm my own boss now. I make my own hours. I'm like, okay.
Meanwhile, you have to pay
just like
$6,000 a month to your boss, who then pays it to his boss and then triples it to pay it to his boss.
Yeah. And I'm like, I don't want to judge your lifestyle. You're welcome to do whatever it is that you fancy. But it is obvious to me and everyone else around you that you are being played. And
it's always one of those subscription things where it's like,
it's predatory.
Well, if you order 12 boxes a month, like we're going to sign you up for 12 boxes a month. You just sell half of those boxes. Then you're going to be money ahead.
Yeah.
And then like if you ever stop selling those boxes, you're in this for a year contract. So you're going to get 12 boxes every month. And I'm taking that money out of your bank account because I got to pay it to my boss.
That's how they keep you committed. That makes sense because if you buy all that stuff ahead of time, the more this Stephen Clark was telling us about, the more you pay attention. And so if you sign a 12-month contract, which is probably not legally binding in any way, it's probably some bullshit thing that they're like, I'm going to draw this up for you. And now you're tied into this, bro. We're in this together. You're on my team
now.
Yeah, they emphasize, they will say team and family more than they really should.
She's like, and if you get a guy to sign on for 6 months with you, then you just take your shipment, send it straight to him. That's money in the bank, dude. It's money in the bank.
Yeah, that's there is so many small ones that may sell half decent products. Like I know another one like the Norwex products. It's not necessarily a pyramid scheme in the way that like everyone's getting schemed. It's just a way for you to make very, very minimal returns if you are a very dedicated salesman.
Really.
When you would make a lot more money if you just sold shit from your garage, because that's really all you're doing is you are selling these very expensive products for a profit margin that you can see just so far in the distance. That is your speck of profit, and it's so far out there, and you have to sell so much shit to get to it that by the time you get to it, you're like, damn, this is a scheme, but I have sold and made them so much money.
And now I have 8,000 cases being shipped to my garage every week.
Yeah. It's like if you had somebody who is perpetually selling the world famous chocolate.
Yeah.
Like people sell that seasonally for kids stuff, and like people buy it because they know it's for the kids. And at least it's a business model that makes more sense, and you can see through it a little bit better than like, no. See, we're selling health products to people who need it, and then getting them to join a team of healthy people, and then overall improving their lives. I'm like, yada. And when this is just, I am selling you a chocolate bar for $1 that I clearly purchased for less.
Yeah.
And you're like, all right, it is for your son's thing. Here's some fucking. And I do like the chocolate. The chocolate is good.
The chocolate's good.
That's the thing. Is like that's the
yeah.
difference between those FDA products that haven't been evaluated and the chocolate bars. We know the chocolate bars are good. We don't know if those fucking powder energy drinks that they're making for you in those souped up labs are really making you lose fat or
like cocaine. But like the modern or the more modern version of this, I don't know if you've seen it. They were advertising heavy last year. It was like some dude and some girl as like a tag team duo, but they're trying to get you to join their Amazon marketing team, where you go on like Wayfair or whatever, and you order these products at wholesale prices and you sell them on Amazon. And like, I was like, oh Jesus. And they're like, yep, the more you order from this website, you ship it to your house, or you can drop ship it, but you got to get your friends, click on this link. If they set up their own account, then you get your products cheaper. And I'm like, hey, this seems like a digital fucking pyramid scheme.
It makes me laugh because it's making me think of when Cole was in here talking about how the Arabs would give him a bunch of money and he'd go buy a car and then sell it at a different auction for a little bit more money and then just spend the profit margin like it was never there. That's what those people in the top of the pyramid schemes are doing. Yeah. They're buying fancy cars and then with your money going and doing a bunch of coke and partying while you're out here selling their product. Which, I mean, I get it. There's a lot of business models that are like that, but not so sinister. But the ones that are sinister are the ones that are designed to keep you sucked in the longest and making the minimal amount of money while making it look like you're actually making money. Nobody would go to a W-2 job if they said they wouldn't go to it for very long if they said you got to sell all this stuff, but we pay you a fraction of what you should really earn.
Well, what's worse is that like they're like, no. So you have to buy this product from me, and then you have to find people to sell it to. And I was like, wait, so I'm buying it from you, so like I'm the person
you sold it to me.
Yeah, exactly. So like no one actually ever uses this shit.
Yeah,
you just keep selling it so that they can sell it, and then they can sell it, and we all make $1 per box.
Yep.
It's like, okay, so the end user never gets found, huh?
Yeah, nope.
Just shit ends up in somebody's garage that bought it but now can't sell it.
Yeah, I can't.
What happened?
It's hard to shit on some of those people because I know some people that are not technically in a pyramid scheme and they are making good money off of it. I mean, it's hard to even say that any like blue collar job or white collar job isn't a pyramid scheme too, but it's a matter of fact, like they tell me how much I'm gonna make, they pay me that, and they can't like be like,
Yeah. Well, the difference is that like you give your time and they pay you a set
accordingly.
For that time. And then with this is like, no, you start out money in the hole, and if you find other people to like join in with you, then you make a little bit of money on that.
Yeah, imagine if you had to pay a deposit to work somewhere.
Right.
Wouldn't that be sick?
Yeah, like, well, on Monday, you need to have your $200 ready. And then on
shaking you down.
Yeah, and then once you give me 40 hours of labor, then I'll give you 400.
Yeah.
So what if I call in? Well, then you just your money out.
It's hard.
Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah. Try again next week.
Yeah. Some people though, I get it. Some people that's their only option, but some people do straight up just get fooled. I mean, and it's generally I've noticed it's the older folks that just aren't as privy to some of the social media outlets that will kind of turn you onto that sort of company behavior. And I hate it when you got a family member that's into it and it's
always tough, man.
Yeah.
And like Mary Kay and shit is like the most popular one.
Yeah.
And everybody, or the what was it? The green wraps or the fit wraps or whatever that was going around a while back. That took over Owensboro.
Yeah.
Oh my God! All the women in this town were doing wraps and wraps and wraps.
That shit could not have been good for you.
I'm sure it caused cancer.
Just binding your body up like that for extended periods of time. Maybe it's got.
You wrap this around you as tight as you can get, and when you take it off, you're skinnier.
I'm like, I don't know if it works.
How like detoxes you, Chase.
It squeezes the shit out of you.
Yeah,
what was the other thing, dude? You know what we should get? The fucking the little multi-shock paddle that gives you the 6-pack.
Oh yeah.
The fucking I want to get one of those just so that I can work out and get a 6-pack and be like, it totally works.
Totally works.
It totally works. And see like people that are like, bro, it's not.
I mean, like, it's a good theory in the fact that, like, it stimulates the muscle.
It makes sense to a dumb person.
Right, yeah.
They're like, yo.
Oh, that seems like it would work. Yeah. Dude, what we need to do is the TENS unit beer challenge.
The what?
Have you seen that at all?
What is it?
So, the TENS unit,
no.
It's like my mom had one for her chronic nerve pain in her side. Oh, but it's two little, like, leads that come off of this machine. And you put them on the muscle, and it makes the muscle.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so the people are doing it where they put them on their arm.
Oh god.
And then they try to drink a beer, and somebody else is turning it up every time they try to drink. So they get it like right here, and they go like dump it all over the place and fucking freak out.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
I wish I had one of those just so I could do that. But...
I feel like I get my hands on one.
Do it, and we'll do it on the podcast.
I bet.
Do it. We will do. We'll put a towel down. We'll put a towel down. But I feel like that may be some pretty good content.
That would be funny. That'd be fun.
Especially because like if nobody's using it, it's not like something that like they need. It's like a therapy device. So
yeah.
You know, just to get it and just see what kind of bullshit we can come up with.
But we should like set up a booth in Smothers or something.
Oh my gosh! Finish the beer.
Yeah.
Finish the beer.
Yeah, if you can finish your beer in 30 seconds, you win. And you just crank it to 10.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure there's some stiff country folk out there that are like,
was that thing on?
Well, I tell you what, the gout got my arm years ago. The shocks don't do a damn thing to me.
The gout.
Oh, man. Well, Jacob, it's about that time.
All right, buddy. That sounds good to me.
It's been fun. Not sure.
Shouts out to Blake. Thanks for tuning in, man.
Yeah, shouts out, man. Not sure who'll be on next week with the weather being kind of inclement.
I know.
Don't want to like.
Well, next week's supposed to go up to like 50.
Yeah, so
like mid 40s. So we'll see if we'll reach out to Eric, see if he wants to come on.
Yeah, get Eric back on here, and then you never know what the future may hold. So,
yes, sir.
Once again, thanks everybody for tuning in.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you next Wednesday at 6, and don't forget, we're brought to you by Salt and Pepper.